Hey guys, Kevin here, coming to you from Canada, walking along a stretch of road with no sidewalks and stuff, so bear with me. This video on my jlandkev channel is about my son's language progression since he's come to Canada and been immersed in an all-English environment. This is more for my friend PJ. PJ is working on his PhD in linguistics, and you might know him formerly as Kansai PJ of YouTube a long time ago. And he's been doing kind of research into raising bilingual children, and he's been kind of using my family and my son as a case study. So my son's first language is Japanese. He is growing up in Japan. My wife is Japanese. You know, he's immersed in a Japanese culture, environment all day long, using Japanese, speaking Japanese. His friends are Japanese. My wife's friends are Japanese. They don't speak English. He's essentially learned English from me and a variety of DVDs. Things like PBS Kids, Nickelodeon, other things. Weekly talks to my parents on Skype. Occasionally other native English-speaking friends of mine. So his English is pretty good, but nowhere near as good as his L1, his Japanese. So I was pretty nervous coming to Canada because it was just going to be myself and my son, and not nervous about the fact of me being alone with a 3-year-old or taking care of a 3-year-old, because I'm quite confident, capable of that. But about how he would deal with the English. Would it be too much for him? Would he be able to communicate? And to be honest, he's exceeded my expectations. He's blown me away. He's really just shocked me how quickly he's learning and how well he's adapted and how comfortable he is. He's played with his cousins who are Canadian. He's played with other children who are Canadian and had no problem with it. He communicates with my parents and my relatives with ease. He's learned a whole bevy of new words, things such as snowplow and snowblower and shoveling. Because right now we're up to our eyeballs in snow. He's never experienced snow before because where we live we don't have snow in the winter in Kobe, Japan. So he says things like, Daddy, you know, we were driving by a Harvey's hamburger restaurant the other day, and it was snowing. There was a guy outside, one of the workers wearing a Santa hat, shoveling. And he said, Daddy, the man in the Santa hat is shoveling. I was, wow. Or, Daddy, the snowplow is coming. Or, Daddy, look, that's a nice snowblower. That man has a red snowblower. Like, he's saying things like this, which is just absolutely amazing. Overall, just in general, his English, I should say, is exploding, blossoming. Now, I have brought some Japanese DVDs, so every day I play a little bit of that for him. Of course, you don't want him to lose. You want him to feel some ease and comfort with that. But occasionally he'll play, when he's doing a little bit of solitary play with like some of his toy cars, he'll kind of do a dialogue in Japanese, but for the most part he's even playing in English. Now I know he does that at home, he plays in English often, but at times he'll play in Japanese as well, but here he's predominantly playing in English. And yeah, I figured I would have to use more Japanese to communicate with him and kind of make him feel at ease or this or that. Now occasionally he does, you know, he mixes in some Japanese words. You know, he's doing the typical 3-year-old thing when he doesn't want to eat. He says that his stomach hurts. So he'll be like, Daddy, onaka ippai, or onaka itai, my stomach hurts. Or occasionally he'll say like, onaka sita, when I'm hungry. But for the most part, it's just occasionally little terms here and there. But yeah, so again, his English is really exploding. I'm really taken aback in a positive way, and I'm really proud of him. I'm really amazed at his ability level. Yeah, so he's getting along very good. I mean, again, he's 3.5, and he's clicking along. Of course, he doesn't sound like a native English speaker, but pretty close, to be honest. Now, of course, he doesn't understand colloquial English. He is learning colloquial English because he's been picking it up from me. But there's a lot of things like, you know, kids in Canada are way, I think, more into games and techie stuff than Japanese kids. Like, Japanese kids like their games and all, but it's more so here. Little Canadian kids are definitely much more slaves to their devices. They're slaves to their parents' devices. Like, they're all like glued to iPads and all that kind of thing, iPhones. Whereas kids in Japan really aren't, which is a good thing. But yeah, so it's cool. And he has a bit of a strict upbringing in Japan, my wife and myself. And I mean, if you guys all know from my background, I'm a kindergarten teacher by trade. Trained elementary school teacher, kindergarten teacher, and I was a kindergarten teacher for years. So I'm pretty strict with kids. My wife's even more strict. which really paid off, because when I see the behavior of a lot of kids when we were traveling, non-Japanese kids, just horrible behavior, you know, like freaking out, taking tantrums, crying like little babies. They're, you know, probably double my son's age, just acting like menaces, and their parents not doing anything about it, blah, blah, blah. And my son, you know, sitting quietly, enjoying his plane ride and his snacks and stuff like that. So, but that's a whole other thing. That's about behavior. So I'm really proud of my son's behavior. He's really proving to be mature beyond his years, which is awesome. But again, as far as the language goes, the language development, it's exploding. He's learning lots of new words. He's seeing lots of new things, learning lots of new things, which are great. Yeah, so I'll send you guys along another update on how my son's doing. But yeah, so that's it. We're, again, in Canada right now. Wearing big mittens, freezing my hands. Even though I'm wearing mittens, my hands are freezing holding my phone, talking to you guys. See the things I do, the sacrifices I make. So for all of you out there, hope you found this video somewhat enjoyable. And PJ, I hope you watch it. I'm sending you the link. I hope you find it somewhat useful. So yeah, again, learning lots of new words like snowplow and shoveling and freezing rain, ice. Yeah, that's good. What do you, snow castle today. He's like, snow castle, I'm making a snow castle. I'm building a wall on a snow castle, he said. Daddy, I'm building a wall on a snow castle. I'm building a wall on a snow castle. See, that impresses me that he says stuff like that. Wow, amazing. Alright guys, take care. Kevin here in Canada. Gonna be back in Japan in a week's time, okay? So in a week from now I'll be back in Japan and showing you that vibe. And there won't be snow when I'm back in Japan. At least where I live, there's no snow. Alright guys, take care. I gotta get home. I got a backpack with a bottle of wine and some beer in it. It is the holidays after all. Let's go and enjoy that stuff. Laters.